All right, everyone. Welcome to Jasper's History Facts. Well, today is October the 8th, and this day in 1871, the Great Chicago Fire begins to burn. So the Great Chicago Fire, one of the most devastating fires in Chicago's history, and a lot of cities, kind of around this time in the 1800s, start to burn like this. For many reasons. A lot of people packed in, not a lot of ways of dealing with certain things as efficiently as maybe we do now, or even before. They didn't have to worry about stuff like this as much, so, you don't really have the procedures for something you never have to deal with. It starts in the farm home of Patrick and Catherine O'Leary. The O'Learys. It's in their barn. Now, we're not 100% sure, obviously, what happened. The one theory was that a cow had kicked the lantern, and that lantern lit some straw. The straw started burning the barn eventually, and then burned. Thankfully, the amount of people killed in this is not overly high. It's still obviously too high. You never want people to die, especially deaths like this. But it's 300 people, so there have been obviously city fires, the Great London Fire, that similar, but not as many people in that. But still, obviously, it's awful that these 300 people faced this fate. A lot of Chicago is rebuilt, obviously, after this, and it actually becomes a lot more of like what we know today as Chicago because of this burning. One of the more interesting things is that you have these, big cities that are built on swamps. Chicago is one of them, where it's built on a swamp, and you'd think, oh, well, the fires wouldn't burn there as much, but hey, man, the swamp is basically gone by this point, so that's why you have a lot of these cities with a lot of moisture, though. It's because they're built on these swamps. So Chicago itself actually is built on kind of like stilts to some degree, because the city would flood. So the more you know on that. But yeah, the Great Chicago Fire, though, really, really devastating. But it does lead to, maybe you could say, a better Chicago. Obviously, that's up for interpretation, but yeah. And now you know.